Oh, good morning. My name is Joe. I've been living at this 2020 Dodge Grand Caravan for the last about a year. And today, talk about a couple of things. One, I'm very excited, preparing for a vacation. And two, well, just have to wait and see. Join me. Well, before we do anything, as always, we need to have a cup of coffee. And I have changed my coffee pot temporarily. I went ahead and bought this electric kettle. And the reason I bought it was when I make coffee on top of the stove there, it tends to go up to about 106 in here, 107. So I decided, oh, let's turn this off. Okay. I decided, well, I don't really want to spend money, but it made sense because it was just way too hot. My Dunkin' Donuts cream. Love this stuff. I'm gonna have to make a trip to the store today. I have about one more cup left in it. We're gonna make. Oh, did I turn it on? No, I did not. There we go. My favorite coffee, Illy. No, not a sponsor. Just I really, really like Illy. Jumping the gun here. Well, as I stated, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. Going to see my daughter in Kentucky. And I'll be gone for a little bit of time. I'll be out of my van. I'll be parking my van at work and leaving it there. Which, is secured, just cameras, security, all that kind of good stuff. I don't really overly worry about it. Most of my electronics will be with me anyway. I'm going to take my iPad. I'm going to take my laptop. Camera I'm recording this with, taking that. I want to have some grandchildren and great-grandchildren photos and video. And really, this Insta360 is every bit as good, and in some cases better than the Galaxy phone. Also, in past videos, if you noticed, I had my light switch was hanging here. I decided it was time to mount it. Just turned off the lights. So, it's one thing. The other thing we can talk about is I started studying for my Linux Plus exam, Pen Test Plus exam, and Linux Admin Plus. So, it seems like a lot, but when I get a little bored, because it's a lot of stuff, I get bored in one discipline, I go ahead and switch off to the other. Reason being, there's a couple things I can get into being on the road. When I am on the road, I would like to be able to move to Kentucky or Indiana, that area. A couple of things I can do: freelance admin work. I can also do some freelance penetration testing. There's some other stuff. If you have time and you're looking for something on the road to do, those kind of jobs are amazing. It only takes a few months. The tests are a little bit expensive. Each test is like $500-$600, somewhere in there. Now, I'm going to go through a bunch of those trainings because I don't want to pass it on the first time because they're so expensive. I've already been using Linux for years. Penetration testing, there's nothing better than Kali. All the tools can be downloaded into Linux Mint. That's what I primarily use. I don't see any reason not to use anything but Linux Mint. So that's what I'm using. Windows to me is a dead issue. I don't like all the telemetry. Uh, the UI is okay. I still think Linux Mint has a better UI, and that's of course opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but all the background telemetry and all the background processes and all that doesn't get it for me. Uh, you do have availability to more software. A lot of the software is more user friendly, if you will, than on Linux. But as a daily driver, Linux does it all, including the video editing I do for these. I use, I use Kdenlive, and it works just fine. When you set it up correctly, you get it. It renders with the GPU, so it renders a little bit slower. I wouldn't say enormously slower, a little bit slower. It does render a little faster on Windows, but it's not worth it. As far as a lot of people I know use Microsoft Office, most of that stuff is available for free online. See how quick the water boils? Yeah, it's a high wattage pot, but 5 minutes, this whole thing is full and the whole thing is boiled. So, yeah, I'm in hopes that I'll be able to do some kind of on the road work. My daughter told me last night that Amazon over there is always hired, but I can't imagine working for under $30 an hour. But she did tell me this home's in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where I'm heading to. $5, $6, $7, $10,000, $11,000. That's better than here in Oregon, where to start a home is $440,000. And you're not in the best of neighborhood, not in the ghetto, but you're not in the best of neighborhood either. So yeah, I'll be doing that. I'll be going on vacation. I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. I think I'm gonna have a great time seeing the grandkids and the great grandkids, and I know it's a house full of people there. I'm gonna be staying with them. That's gonna be interesting because I'm used to being alone in the van. I'm not. Some of the people that post videos, I believe they're weekend warriors or they just come out and do the videos. It's my opinion. Not downing anybody, but that's just what I believe. As far as me, I do live full time in the van. I do work full time. I have a full time job, and it just became a necessity. Now it's something I really like to do. I like to live in my van. It's quiet. I don't have many bills. I don't have to deal with people. I don't have to deal with landlords, banks, any of that crap. The worst thing that can happen, it already happened, is when I broke down. It was a $7,000 repair. But the van now is as good as new. I talked about it a few weeks ago. My transmission went out. But yeah, I mean, that's about all that's going on. It's not going to be an incredibly long video. It was just that. And hopefully everything goes well with the trip. And I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm sure I will. Going to Tennessee. I forget the town in Tennessee. Oh, Gatlinburg. We're going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And it's almost like an amusement park, a mini amusement park almost. If you go down the main street, they have museums, they have art galleries, they have an imitation Titanic where you could see, they have an upside down house, they have all kinds of stuff is there. I mean, you could just spend literally a week there seeing different stuff. As far as food, I don't know how the food is, but lately that just doesn't matter to me. I've been mostly eating just soups, about 80% just soups. I did buy raviolis, and I don't want to use the stove, so I have this little, I guess it's a hot pot thing. Plugs in a cigarette lighter and plugs into electric, however you want to do it. In 45 minutes, raviolis with sauce are done. It's just too hot out lately to be able to cook. I tried it, and I hung in there, but there's no point. Basically, what happens is it gets 105, 110, even more in here. I've had it up to 140. It's not healthy, number one. Number two, it's just no reason. There's enough technology out there to circumvent that, at least temporarily. I will go back to cooking as soon as the weather breaks a little bit. I mean, when it's 80 outside, it'll go up to 90, 95 in here when I'm cooking. That's fine. Open all the doors. Not that big of a deal. Let me open this other door. In fact, it's starting to warm up. It's still early. And here in Oregon, early just means it's comfortable. This morning, it's right now 73 in here. Had I been cooking, it would have been over 90. If I made coffee and all that. This is actually my second cup. I had a coffee filters. I did order some, but I ordered them too late. I might have to pick some up when I go to the store and get creamer today. Other than that, nothing much is going on. Same stuff. And oh yeah, most incredible thing, my now ex-wife, I guess, or soon to be ex-wife, filed the divorce papers. And with coaxing from a lot of people, I decided I'm going to get husband monetary, alimony. And yeah, she's a cripple, and normally I wouldn't do that. But she cut my insurance off, health and auto, without telling me. That wasn't nice. When I figured it out, I was driving down the road and ended up getting insurance. Jumped on the first person that said they'll insure me right there. Thank God it was Geico. It's a good company. Health insurance stuck me with a bunch of medical bills. When she left our apartment, I had already been moved out. She left over $12,000 and $11,000, sorry, in debt, plus all the credit cards and everything that we used. So I just think I deserve it. Yeah, she's in a bad way too, but she didn't have to leave it that way. On top of the fact that she cheated on me, she met somebody online and got screwed over. She met somebody in Georgia, not the state Georgia, in the country Georgia. Ended up getting her bank account frozen and pretty much was sending every dollar she had to some guy. And I don't know who does this kind of thing. I don't know how a person that worked with law enforcement for 20 some odd years gets wrapped up into a mess like that. But anyway, on that note, I am going to ask for alimony. I'm going to file. I'll probably take Friday off and go down to the courthouse in Eugene and file. Hopefully, if anything, it'll teach her a lesson. Even if I don't win, she maybe not screw over the next person. She had no reason to screw me over. I took good care of her. I'm sorry I wasn't as loving and caring and all that stuff, but working 8 hours and driving 3 hours round trip to work kind of takes a lot out of you. Getting up in the morning, getting ready. I mean, looking at a 15-hour day before any interaction. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Really, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And hopefully I have a little better video next week. And I look forward to next week. And we'll talk more about the trip and some of the plans I have. And also more about how I have my van set up. I did a couple of other changes that I'm going to go over next week. Have a wonderful week. And of course, like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it.